कारवां चलता रहा मेरा, दिन भी यूं ढलता रहा मेरा। फिर तुम्हारी याद आई हमको, रो गए हम सोच करके तुमको। तुम छीन लोगे क्या हमसे हमको, छीन लोगे क्या हमसे हमको। हंसते क्यों हो यूं मुझे देख कर, खुश तो हो तुम यूं मुझे देख कर। मैं भी खुश हूँ तुम्हें यूं देख कर। रुक गए हम सोच कर के तुमको, रुक गए हम सोच कर के तुमको।
She just wanted to make a reel, not run away, not dishonor anyone, not break a rule, just record a moment where she looked happy. You do it, I do it, we film, we smile, we post. But for Radhika Yadav, that was the beginning of the end. She was 25. A state-level tennis player, she ran a coaching academy in Gurugram, and one social media reel was all it took to flip her world. On July 10, 2025, her father Deepak Yadav shot her, not once, not twice, but 5 times. 3 bullets in her back, 1 in her shoulder, another into silence. Why? Because she dared to be visible, to post, to be seen smiling. But that wasn't the whole story. According to the police, the real tension started when Radhika gained more success, and her father felt sidelined. He ran the academy she founded. Relatives mocked him, saying he was living off his daughter, and in a home where whispers mattered more than love. That shame grew, until it became a weapon. He bought a new revolver, waited for the right moment, sent the dog outside, the brother away, isolated the mother, and pulled the trigger. It wasn't a snap, it was planned. According to her friend Himanshika, it was building up for days. Ask yourself, when did self-expression become a death sentence? When did a daughter's voice start to sound like disgrace? Hold that thought, because Radhika's story is not just hers. It's a mirror, and what you see in it says everything about who we choose to protect and who we silence. Before headlines boxed her in, before hashtags mourned her, Radhika was here. Alive, breathing, dreaming. Radhika Yadav was born on March 23, 2000. She wasn't just a tennis player. She was a coach, a mentor, a light. She trained girls who looked up to her. She traveled. She loved reels. She loved her dog, Luna. And she had a best friend, Himanshika Singh Rajput, a fellow tennis player, someone who saw behind the scenes. They'd known each other over a decade. And what Himanshika saw wasn't just talent. It was pressure, expectations, restrictions. Radhika's family had rules, too many, and love came with control. She was told how to dress, when to post, who to talk to. Her parents, especially her father, listened to neighbors, not to her. Their view of shame mattered more than her happiness, and over time, it wore her down. She felt suffocated. Himanshika said she gave up. She was ready to live the way they wanted. She stopped pushing, stopped posting, stopped living on her terms. But that wasn't enough. Her father had already made up his mind, and all she had left was silence. Injustice didn't begin the day she died. It began the moment she stopped being allowed to dream freely. Radhika wasn't just someone's daughter. She was someone on her own. She deserved more than a posthumous headline. She deserved to be seen while she lived. If you're still here, thank you. Not just for watching, for witnessing. This channel isn't about clicks. It's about truth and memory, and Radhika Yadav deserves both. We don't just tell stories here. We remember names. We hold space. We say what others try to bury. So if that matters to you, subscribe. Not for me, for her. For the girls who are still trying to be free. Radhika isn't the only one. She's one of many, silenced by shame, crushed by control. We owe her more than pity. We owe her voice. And this platform is how we keep her story alive. If you've ever posted something and felt afraid, if you've ever been told to dim your light, If you've ever loved someone who lost their fight to be seen, then you understand. And if you do hit that button, stick with us, because we're not done. Back to Radhika's story. Radhika's home wasn't a safe space. It was a cage. Her parents, especially her father, held tight to old rules. Rules made by a world that saw daughters as property. Rules made by neighbors whose opinions were louder than love. Her friend, Himanshika, said Radhika felt suffocated. Imagine wanting to breathe and being told to stay silent instead. Imagine wanting to be yourself, to wear what you want, to post what you like, but every move watched, every smile questioned. Radhika was controlled, not just by her parents, but by the weight of tradition and shame. She wasn't free to live her life like others her age. Her passion for tennis and her growing success made some people jealous. Her father felt pressure from his friends, from relatives, from a community that judged him harshly for living off his daughter. He was trapped in his own pride and pain. And Radhika? She was trapped inside a home that didn't let her be free. Her friend said she had given up fighting. She stopped posting reels, stopped sharing her smile, but the silence wasn't peace. It was the calm before a storm. How many girls stop dancing just because their parents call it shameful? How many voices get silenced before the world even knows they existed? Radhika's story is their story too. This wasn't a moment of madness. It wasn't a sudden outburst. Radhika's friend, Himanshika, says it was planned. For 3 days. 3 days of silence. 3 days of waiting. Her father bought a new gun. Not for protection, but to end a life. He sent Radhika's brother away on some false pretext. Locked Luna, their family dog, outside the house. Kept her mother in a separate room. He isolated her and waited for the perfect moment. Then he shot her from behind 5 times. 3 bullets tore through her back. 1 hit her shoulder. 1 ended everything. 5 shots fired in a home that should have been safe. What crime had she committed? Wearing makeup? Posting a harmless video online? Being herself? Nothing. Only the courage to live freely. And that courage was met with violence. Try to imagine that a daughter silenced because her smile, her freedom, was too much for the man who was supposed to protect her. The weight of shame, jealousy, and fear drove a father to commit this unthinkable act. But who is the real killer here? Is it the father with the gun? Or the toxic world around him, the voices telling him his daughter's success was his failure? 5 shots in a house. 5 shots that raise a question louder than any gunshot. How many more daughters must die for simply being themselves? Was it really Radhika Yadav who killed his daughter? Or was it something darker, something no one talks about enough? Shame, pride bruised and broken by success that wasn't his. Pressure from friends who whispered behind his back. Jealousy disguised as honor. This wasn't just a father's anger. It was toxic masculinity wrapped in tradition. An honor killing dressed up as family duty. Why do some men fear their daughters more when they shine than when they suffer? Why is a girl's ambition seen as a threat? Why is her independence seen as betrayal? Deepak's friends mocked him, saying he was living off his daughter's earnings. They taunted him for letting her wear makeup, for posting reels, for being a woman who dared to be seen. And that shame, that fear of losing control, poisoned everything. It made a father into a killer. It made a home into a crime scene. But this is bigger than one man. It's a reflection of a society that prizes control over care, a culture that values obedience over freedom. It's a world where a daughter's success can become a father's undoing. And until we face this truth, stories like Radhika's will keep repeating. What does that say about us? What does it say about the world we want to live in? A world where daughters are celebrated, where they are safe, where their light isn't feared but cherished, or one where silence hides violence. Ask yourself, who is the real killer? Radhika's friend, Himanshika, wasn't just a bystander. She was her lifeline. She gave up, she said, not because she wanted to, because the pressure was too much. Radhika tried to live by their rules. She stopped posting reels. She stopped smiling freely. She tried to be the daughter they wanted, but it wasn't enough. Her father had already made up his mind. Himashika's voice cracks as she speaks about Radhika's last days. About the silent pain. The invisible fight. What would you say if you could speak to Radhika now? To tell her she wasn't alone? That her dreams mattered? And what would you say to her father? To the man who saw his daughter's light and chose darkness instead? Her friend's cry isn't just for justice. It's for recognition. For the truth to be heard. For a world to wake up and see what silence hides. Because too often, victims become statistics, names forgotten behind headlines. But here in this moment, she has a voice, and so do you. What justice really looks like. For Radhika, is it punishment? Is it change? Is it the courage to prevent the next story? Think about it, because justice without change is just words. Radhika's murder didn't happen in a vacuum. It's part of a larger pattern. A culture where silence enables violence, where families protect honor, not daughters, where obedience is valued more than life. Ask yourself, is a girl's life only worth as much as her obedience? Honor killings like this aren't rare. They're hidden in whispers, buried under shame. And the system? Sometimes it fails. Sometimes it turns a blind eye. Because social pressure is heavy. Because families fear scandal more than loss. Because society still struggles to protect the vulnerable. Radhika's death is a call, a warning. We can't look away anymore. Every time a girl is silenced for being herself, we lose something too. Our humanity, our compassion, our future. So what can we do? We can start by naming it. By refusing to accept silence. By standing with the daughters who deserve to shine. Because if we don't change the system, the next story will be wasted. Let's pause. No words, no noise, just Radhika. Look at her face. The smile she wore, the dreams she carried. She didn't get to finish her story, not on her terms. That silence? It's heavy. It's the sound of a life cut short, of a future stolen. But here's the truth, you watching this? You're part of this story now. Not just a spectator, not just a name on a screen. You have a role. To remember her, to speak her name, to hold her story alive. Because forgetting, that's what lets this keep happening. We owe her more than silence, more than just passing headlines. We owe her justice. We owe her change. And change begins with you. With all of us. So take this moment. Breathe it in. Feel the weight. And when you're ready, carry it forward. Because she didn't get to finish. But together, maybe we can help write the next chapters. For Radhika, for every girl silenced before her. This moment, it's ours to hold. If girls are still being killed for dancing, posting, smiling, what exactly are we calling freedom? Is it a word without meaning? Or a promise we're failing to keep? Radhika's real was joy. Her father's response was bullets. That contrast, it's unbearable. And it forces us to ask, how many more daughters will pay with their lives for simply being themselves? How many families will be shattered? How many stories will be buried in silence? But here's the thing, this doesn't have to be just another story. Because you're watching, you're listening, you care, and that matters. Thank you for staying with me through Radhika's story. If you believe she deserved better, hit subscribe, join the space where we remember names, not just headlines. Comment below, what does justice really look like? For Radhika, is it punishment? Change? Awareness? Let's talk about it. Because change starts with conversation, and conversations start with courage. Her story is unfinished. But with us, it doesn't have to be forgotten. Her real was joy. His response was bullets. Don't let this be just another story buried in silence.